And we're not going to be distracted by those who seek to break rather than those who want to work together in the best interest of all of our people to build going forward. I was accused of being a right-winger. Let me just make this point. While some amongst us were busy looting VBS Bank, and I wonder how many emerging farmers lost their funds along with our gorgos and the stokvels and the small agriculture there when that bank was looted. There's a great saying in agriculture: as you sow, so shall ye reap. What the EFF sowed going into this election has ended up with the rotten harvest that they...
I invite the Honourable the Minister Steenhuisen to respond to the debate.
Thank you very much, House Chairperson. And may I thank every one of the members who participated in the debate today. I think there were some really good points made, and both ministers have made notes and will factor that in. I do want to deal with a few of the issues that came up in the very short time that is available to me. The first deals with the extension officers. Now, many of you may know that an undertaking was made outside of the Department of Agriculture to provide 10,000 extension officers. Unfortunately for the department, the funding never followed the undertaking. And so it has put the department in a particularly difficult position in terms of being able to meet that undertaking that was made outside of the department. Nevertheless, I've made it very clear today, and I undertake again from this podium, that we need to find more innovative ways of being able to fund these posts. And I've committed to reaching out to see whether we can form public-private partnerships with industry bodies and agricultural players to see whether they would like to partner with the department in terms of the training and rolling out of more of these extension officers. I think there are opportunities as well to harness technology that is now available to develop platforms that will assist small farmers to be able to get the information that they need quickly, efficiently, and effectively in order to enable them to be able to focus on increasing their production, thereby increasing their profitability, thereby increasing the number of people that they would be able to hire in the agricultural sector, which I think we would all understand would be beneficial for all of us. A number of the members referred to biosecurity, and I want to give this House the assurance that biosecurity will be one of my top priorities as the Minister, not only to massively improve animal and plant health in the country, but also to make South African products the international standard for quality and availability. What this will do will allow us to open up further export markets for our country, to enable us to be able to bring more small-scale producers into the value chain and give them greater access and exposure to international markets, both on the continent but also across the oceans. That is where the real low-hanging fruit lies for us. South Africa and our continent is the bread basket of the world. And by improving those linkages and taking on board the lessons that we've learned through AGOA and other bilateral trade agreements, there is huge opportunity for us out there. But we have to focus on improving our local product offer and dealing with those issues. I thought today's debate was also very instructive for those people who have been watching at home, because I think it's been very clearly set out in a binary form today who the builders are and who the breakers are, who the dividers are and who the uniters are, and who the shouters are and who the doers are. And I think it's very important. So I think we've been able to see in the binary format that now the Government of National Unity, formed out of a popular mandate from the people of South Africa, has a significant majority and mandate to get out there and lift our citizens out of poverty and into opportunity, to create jobs, to promote inclusive economic growth. And working together, that will be the focus. And we're not going to be distracted by those who seek to break rather than those who want to work together in the best interest of all of our people to build going forward. Now, I heard a lot today, a lot of political invective being thrown around, a lot of epithets been thrown around. Who's right-wing and who's left-wing, who's right and who's wrong. But let me just say this. I was accused of being a right-winger. Let me just make this point. While some amongst us were busy looting VBS Bank, and I wonder how many emerging farmers lost their funds along with our gogos and the stokvels and the small agriculture there when that bank was looted. While some were looting VBS Bank, I was busy using our resources in court to fight for Mr. David Rakhatse to get the land that he was due and to bring justice to that particular issue. While others were busy involved in state capture and putting people into key positions.
Honourable Minister, there is a point of order. Honourable Member, you must raise your point. Honourable Tlangwini, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, House Chair. House Chair, I just want to check if Mr. Steenhuisen are willing to take a question on the Steenhof looting that the DA was involved in.
Before you ask the question, you've asked if he's prepared to take a question. And Honourable Minister, are you prepared to take a question?
No, I'm not. I want to finish my point. Thanks. So while others were busy putting key people into places so that they could capture the state to benefit themselves, we were busy out there trying to bring justice to South Africa, to fight the very elements that people were wanting to reintroduce. There's a great saying in agriculture: as you sow, so shall ye reap. What the EFF sowed going into this election has ended up with the rotten harvest that they got in this election, where they lost votes and went backwards, and other parties have been returned with greater numbers. The GNU is setting out determinedly to change life for the better for all of our citizens. And so, wherever you may be around the country, whether it is in a rural area or whether it's an urban area, whether you're a business person or whether you're unemployed, I'm here to tell you today that help is on the way. The Government of National Unity is working together to make life better for all South Africans. Thank you very much.
So in what appears to be an inescapable strings of attacks on the EFF as regards the whole VBS mutual bank scandal, I think that actually already gotten out to the Parliament with John Steenhuisen, as we saw in this video, really indirectly blasting the EFF for the whole looting scandal and blaming the EFF for, while one section of the political spectrum was building the country, another was looting and all of that. And so we would actually see more of the clashes between the left parties and the center-right parties in the Government of National Unity and the government generally in the next 4 or 5 years, because this VBS scandal, I don't think is going away anytime soon. But anyway, the EFF actually denied, and they continuously maintain their stand that the whole VBS case, especially with the leaked affidavit, is deceptive. I read the affidavit, 260 pages, not all yet, but the section that actually pulls in the EFF and the Matotsi, the former chairperson Matotsi, actually explained how the whole issue started with when I think the EFF was beginning to mention the bank in its campaign trails, giving it a really demeaning light, in that I think it had things to do with Jacob Zuma and trying to cover the name of the bank. Matotsi then approached the EFF to sort of like appease it in a way. It's kind of like an appeasement by giving it, I think it argues in the affidavit that it offered the EFF 5 million rand and I think R1 million monthly, which I think the EFF now utilize, or these are all alleged anyway. And so that was the relationship between the VBS and the EFF. And now we see that Van Wyk is actually connecting how the whole saga. I'll be making the next video. I'll be making really strange documentary, has an infographic that actually breaks down the whole flow of the cash from VBS Bank and how it streamed down to Shamega Project, which was a project by Floyd Shivambu's brother Brian, and also trickled down into Shivambu's family and all. Really strange document. I'll be making that in the next video. Just stay tuned. But anyway, I just wanted to read out also the stance of the EFF so we can kind of like have a balanced reporting on this whole issue. So we know that the EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters, they've actually dismissed the affidavit by Matotsi implicating some of their members in the corrupt and fraudulent activities leading to the collapse of the VBS Mutual Bank as baseless and deceptive. So the EFF actually believes that that's whole 263 leaked document. And I think I've actually also seen a part where a report that actually said because the document was leaked, it actually might compromise the investigation. But anyway, the EFF actually argues that the whole affidavit that leaked was baseless and deceptive and is actually misleading. Anyway, this affidavit is a 263-page document which was authored by the convicted former VBS chairperson Shifiwa Mathotsi, and he actually claimed that the EFF allegedly received, the document claimed that the EFF allegedly received approximately 16 million rand in donations, right? And also Mathotsi, now we know that he's been sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for all the involvement, and the fraud is a massive fraud. If you read the document, it's scary, with many ANC involvement in there and money laundering that precipitated the bank's collapse. All right, so we know that the affidavit now actually describes the supposed meetings between Matotsi and EFF leaders Julius Malema, Floyd Shivambu, and Marshal Dlamini. However, EFF spokesperson Lane Ann Mathis actually asserted that the party is actually being unfairly targeted, right? According to Lane Ann Mathis, now she says that there's no change to our statement on VBS. For a response, refer to our archives. Why not focus equally on Cyril Ramaphosa and the money hidden in his sofas at Pala Pala Farm, and the fixation on linking the EFF to VBS corruption is blatant harassment? So this is according to Lay and Mathis. She actually wishes that Van Wyck's energy can actually be shifted to investigation on Ramaphosa and the Pala Pala Farm. Probably there might be a kickback there, probably from an EFF investigator to open up and dig deep into the Pala Pala case with Ramaphosa, and that would actually now complicate the agreement in the GNU, especially now with the DA, and what many have termed the DA getting into bed with the ANC, dismissing the Pala Pala case, and then still moving on to form a government. I believe that if an investigator rises from the EFF wing now, it will now have to drag the DA for being sort of like maybe this whole issue with getting into bed with the ANC anyway, and get now deeper into Ramaphosa's Pala Pala case. So I'm really also worried that the Pala Pala case would actually be another smokescreen, but a really dangerous one that would really unravel a lot of things in the GNU, cause a lot of, especially if the opposition from the perspective of the MK party, we know that Judge Lope, who is a really skilled legal practitioner, if he handles that case, it will actually be a really big blow to the GNU. It might unrattle a lot of issues and really cause some earthquake. I don't know. That's the best word I could find, within the GNU, maybe implicating some other members of the GNU. We don't know. It might drag the DA into some kind of thing we don't yet understand. But anyway, it's just a really dangerous set of precedents that the this VBS case has actually set in motion. Anyway, we know that Matotsi entered a plea agreement admitting to multiple charges relating to the bank's collapse, and that the affidavit is part of his plea deal, right? So Matotsi also alleged that former Treasury General Dondo Mogayane accepted a 1 million rand bribe to facilitate the reversal of a National Treasury letter. This is SIC, advising municipalities to withdraw their investments from VBS. Mogayane has actually denied these accusations anyway. And now the National Prosecuting Committee, the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, is actually considering legal actions following the leak of the affidavit, which implicates senior political figures and others in corruption. But the NPA anyway asserts that the leak undermines the integrity of the ongoing investigation. But nonetheless, I think the Hawks and the NPA would actually proceed to investigate further to, possibly indict those who were actually allegedly involved in the VBS loot, and really unfortunate case at this time when South Africa is trying to find its feet with the formation of the GNU and rolling down of policies and budget and all that. But anyway, what do you guys think about John Steenhuisen's speech here and the whole thing with the VBS loot? Well, watch out for my next video anyway. I'll be breaking down another recent interview by Van Wyk, where she tries to explain the anticipations and the visions of Shifiwa Matotsi as the chairperson at the time, but because of power and money, all of his vision for VBS Bank crumbled to where it has become today. But anyway, share your thoughts. What do you think about this video? Share your thoughts in the comments.